Has your car been running rough, hesitating during acceleration, or getting worse fuel economy for no obvious reason? Before you spend hundreds at the mechanic replacing sensors and parts, there are free computer resets that fix the majority of these problems in just 10 minutes. Most mechanics won't tell you about these procedures because they'd rather sell you expensive diagnostic services. Today I'm revealing the exact reset procedures that solve rough idle, sluggish throttle response, transmission shifting problems, and check engine lights without spending a single dollar. Let's get straight into it. Your car's engine control unit learns and adapts to your driving habits over time. The ECU, or engine control unit, is essentially the brain of your vehicle's engine, controlling fuel injection, ignition timing, air-fuel ratio, and dozens of other parameters. Over weeks and months, the ECU learns from faulty sensors, accommodates for worn components, and adapts to issues that should be fixed. Sometimes this learned data becomes corrupted or outdated, causing performance problems that a simple reset can eliminate instantly. Reset number 1. The throttle body relearn procedure. This is the most common reset that fixes rough idle, hesitation, and sluggish acceleration. After cleaning your throttle body, replacing your battery, or even after extended driving, your throttle position sensor may lose its calibration. The ECU no longer knows the correct fully closed and fully open positions of the throttle plate. How to reset the computer after replacing the throttle body. Disconnect the battery for 10 to 15 minutes or use a diagnostic scanner to clear error codes and reset the ECU. Then, relearn the throttle body manually or with your scan tool. Here's the manual throttle relearn procedure that works on most vehicles. Turn the ignition on but keep the engine off. Insert the key and turn it to the on position without starting the engine. Wait for 10 seconds. Press and release the accelerator pedal. Slowly press the accelerator pedal to the floor and release it completely. Repeat this step several times. Start the engine and let it idle for around 10 minutes. Depending on mileage and engine size and where the throttle was at before you disconnected the battery determines how many times you may need to do it. After about 5 or 6 times the throttle plate would open fully in less than a second. Many drivers report immediate improvement in throttle response and idle quality after this simple procedure. The ECU relearns the correct throttle positions and adjusts fuel delivery accordingly. If your car has been feeling sluggish or stalling at stoplights, this reset should be your first step before any expensive repairs. Reset number 2. The full ECU reset procedure. To reset the car ECU without disconnecting the battery, turn the ignition to the on position without starting the engine for about 10 minutes. This will allow the ECU to reset. This clears all learned parameters, error codes, and adaptive fuel trims, giving your engine computer a fresh start. The ECU fuel maps are reset to factory original specs, and the computer forgets all the previous info it has learned about your driving style. The traditional method involves disconnecting the negative battery terminal for 10 to 15 minutes. This completely drains residual power and resets the ECU to factory defaults. However, this erases your radio presets and clock settings. There are 2 primary methods to reset your ECM: disconnecting the car battery or through the fuse box. Both methods involve turning off your vehicle entirely and disconnecting certain components for a period of time. An alternative method doesn't require battery disconnection. With the engine off, turn the ignition to the on position without starting. Leave it in this position for 10 to 15 minutes. This allows the ECU to cycle through its systems and clear temporary learned data. Then start the engine and let it idle for several minutes while the computer relearns idle control, fuel mixture, and timing parameters. After resetting, your vehicle enters a relearning phase where it relearns adaptive settings like minimum throttle position and fuel mixture. This process can take from a few days to a couple of weeks. The first few miles after reset may feel slightly different as the ECU relearns your driving patterns, but performance should stabilize quickly. Reset number 3. The idle relearn procedure for rough idle after battery disconnection. Posting here as this affects some Forester and Impreza models with electronic throttle bodies or IACV that undergo battery disconnect and lose their idle calibration. My idle relearn procedure. Turn off lights, aircon, stereo or any system that draws extra current. Disconnect battery for 30 minutes. Reconnect. Before you start for first time, turn key to on position but do not turn engine over. Wait 10-15 seconds so electronic throttle body has time to go to factory programmed home position. The procedure after ECU reset while engine is cold. Make sure all accessories, lights, AC, anything that can draw power is off before starting. Turn key to on position, wait 10-15 seconds for throttle blade to calibrate. Start engine. Let idle to operating temp 10-15 minutes until radiator fan cycles twice, important step. Shut off engine, wait 10-15 seconds, restart and good to go. This accelerated relearn helps the ECU understand proper idle speed much faster than just driving normally. Many owners report that without this procedure, rough idle and stalling can persist for days or even weeks. With the proper relearn, the problem disappears within 15 miles of driving. Reset number 4. Clearing check engine lights after repairs. If you've fixed the actual problem causing a check engine light but the light stays on, you can clear it without expensive scan tools. The ECU stores diagnostic trouble codes that trigger warning lights. After repairs, these codes remain stored until manually cleared or until the ECU completes enough successful drive cycles to confirm the problem is resolved. The drive cycle method works if the underlying problem is truly fixed. Simply drive the vehicle normally through several complete cycles of cold start, warm up, highway driving, and shutdown. After 3 to 5 complete cycles, if no faults are detected, the check engine light will turn off automatically. However, if the light returns, the problem wasn't actually fixed and proper diagnosis is needed. For immediate code clearing, disconnect the battery negative terminal for 10 to 15 minutes. This clears all stored codes and turns off the check engine light. But understand that if the problem still exists, the light will return, sometimes within minutes of driving. A reset only clears the warning. It doesn't fix underlying mechanical or electrical problems. Reset number 5. Transmission relearn for shift quality issues. Your transmission computer adapts to your driving style and adjusts shift points and pressure. Over time, if you've been driving gently, the transmission learns to shift softly. If you suddenly need more aggressive acceleration, the transmission may hesitate or shift poorly because it's adapted to conservative patterns. I reset the ECU and drove home in choppy traffic with lots of idling. This is what the ECU began to learn. When I drove again that evening, tranny gears seemed to sync up smooth at 2,500 revolutions per minute. But when pushed harder over 3,000 revolutions per minute, tranny had harder time matching gears. So I did relearn procedure again, this time accelerating out to about 4,000 revolutions per minute before shifting, accelerating hard, and lots of throttle off the line. The transmission relearn involves resetting the ECU using battery disconnect or ignition cycle method, then driving aggressively through all gears for the first 20 to 30 miles. Accelerate briskly, use full throttle occasionally, and let the transmission experience the full range of driving conditions. The computer adapts to this input and adjusts shift quality accordingly. Many drivers notice dramatically improved shift quality and responsiveness after this procedure. Here are critical warnings before attempting these resets. Loss of data. Resetting the ECU clears any stored data, such as fuel trims and performance settings. If the car has adaptive learning, it may take some time for the ECU to relearn optimal settings after a reset. Only reset when there's a specific problem that requires it, such as after replacing a sensor or fixing an issue. Random resets don't improve properly running vehicles and can temporarily worsen performance during the relearn period. If your car's playing up and you've tried everything else, a reset isn't a magic fix. Worn-out parts like bad spark plugs, dirty fuel injectors, or weak battery, serious engine problems like misfiring or overheating, and electrical faults like faulty wiring need proper repairs. Resetting the computer doesn't fix mechanical problems, it only clears corrupted learned data and allows fresh calibration. Some vehicles require specific procedures or professional scan tools for certain resets. Luxury brands like BMW, Mercedes, and Audi often need dealer-level equipment for complete relearns. Always consult your owner's manual or manufacturer-specific forms before attempting resets on these vehicles. For most mainstream brands like Toyota, Honda, Ford, Chevrolet, and Nissan, the procedures I've described work on the majority of models. Here's when these resets actually help. After battery replacement or disconnection. After cleaning or replacing the throttle body. After replacing sensors like mass airflow, oxygen, or throttle position sensors. When experiencing rough idle, stalling, or poor throttle response with no mechanical problems found. After the check engine light stays on despite fixing the underlying issue. When transmission shift quality has degraded over time despite proper fluid levels. These resets don't help with actual component failures, serious mechanical problems like worn piston rings or valve seals, electrical system faults requiring wiring repairs, or transmission problems caused by low fluid or internal damage. A reset is a diagnostic tool and correction for computer-learned data, not a substitute for proper mechanical repair. If this information just saved you from an unnecessary mechanic visit or expensive diagnostic fees, smash that like button. Drop a comment telling me which reset you're going to try first and what symptoms you're experiencing. And if you want more money-saving automotive knowledge that empowers you to fix problems yourself, subscribe to this channel. Next week I'm revealing how to diagnose check engine lights without a scan tool using your dashboard. It's a trick dealers don't want you to know. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Remember, your car's computer is powerful but it needs occasional resets to maintain optimal performance. These free procedures take minutes but can save you hundreds in unnecessary repairs.